Everyone in the office thought she was nothing but a lowly African secretary with no pedigree and no chance. And no one treated her worse than her boss, the cold, arrogant Arab billionaire, Khalid al-Hariri. He humiliated her in meetings, barked orders, called her incompetent in front of clients, and yet, every time she tried to quit, he refused to sign her resignation. Why? Because when no one was watching, Khalid wasn't the ice-cold tyrant everyone saw. Behind locked doors, in late-night boardrooms and penthouse lounges, he burned for her. But here's the twist: he never admitted. To the outside world, she was disposable. But when another man tried to take her out for dinner, Khalid lost control. He crashed the date, dragged her out of the restaurant like a jealous lover, and threatened to fire the guy just for speaking to her. "You're mine," he whispered that night, breath hot against her neck. "Even if you hate me for it." Aaliyah, the woman they all underestimated, was trapped in a twisted web of hate, obsession, and hidden desire. And what happened next would shake the entire company and his billion-dollar legacy. Everyone in the company called her the lucky one, the African girl who landed a secretary job at Al-Hariri Global, one of the richest conglomerates in the Gulf. But Aaliyah knew the truth. She wasn't lucky, she was trapped. Her boss, Khalid al-Hariri, the ruthless billionaire CEO, humiliated her at every turn. He'd insult her accent, mock her clothes, and once told the board she was barely qualified to alphabetize files. The room had laughed, but none of them knew what happened after hours. When the building was empty, Khalid would corner her in his office with the blinds drawn. No insults, no cruelty, just an obsession so fierce, it made him lose control. He never kissed her in public, never spoke kindly to her where others could see. But the moment another man even looked at her, Khalid would erupt. And that's exactly what happened when Adam, the charming new marketing director from London, asked Aaliyah out to dinner. Khalid watched from his office window as they left together. His fists clenched, his jaw locked. He didn't say a word all day, until the next morning, when the company woke up to an internal memo. Effective immediately, Adam Wright is being relocated to our office in Qatar. A security escort will assist him in clearing his desk. No one questioned the CEO. They never did, but whispers spread fast. And Aaliyah? She knew exactly why Adam was gone. She confronted Khalid in his office, trembling with rage. "You don't own me," she shouted. "You treat me like trash in the daylight, then burn for me in the dark. What is wrong with you?" He didn't blink. "You're not going anywhere," Khalid said quietly. "You belong here, with me, even if you hate me for it." That day, Aaliyah realized something terrifying. This wasn't just lust, this wasn't love, it was possession. And what she did next would set off a scandal so massive, the board would beg her to stay quiet. But Aaliyah was done being his secret. The revenge she planned would make headlines. Aaliyah didn't sleep that night. Her body remembered Khalid's hands, but her mind replayed every insult, every public humiliation, every time he used her like a secret and discarded her in the daylight. But now, she had a plan. No more shadows, no more shame, no more hiding. At 9 a.m. sharp the next morning, Aaliyah walked into the boardroom wearing a blood-red suit and heels that clicked like gunshots against the marble floor. She wasn't there to serve coffee. She carried a file, thick, confidential, dangerous. Inside were copies of emails, text messages, travel logs, and surveillance footage. Every trace of Khalid's after-hours obsession with her, including video evidence of a steamy night in Dubai, in his private villa, when he promised her the world, and then ghosted her for 2 weeks. Now, that same man was acting like she didn't matter? Not today. The board members looked up as she placed the file in front of them. "If Mr. Al-Hariri continues to treat me like his disposable toy, I'll make sure the world sees what he really is." Gasps. One executive muttered, "Is she blackmailing the CEO?" She smiled. "No, I'm just done being silenced." The room went silent, until Khalid burst in. He had heard, he had seen, and for the first time in his career, the unshakable billionaire looked afraid. "Aaliyah, we need to talk. Alone." But Aaliyah didn't move. She stared him down in front of everyone who had laughed at her. "Why, so you can use me in secret again? I'm not your dirty little secret anymore, Khalid." The power shifted. In that moment, the entire board saw who really had control. But the scandal had only just begun. Because later that night, a leaked video hit the internet. It was Khalid and Aaliyah. Intimate, raw, undeniable. And the caption? "Arab billionaire's double life exposed. Secretary comes forward." The media went insane, but what no one knew was, Khalid didn't leak the video. And Aaliyah didn't either. So who did? That twist would change everything. By sunrise, the internet had exploded. Hashtags like #Hariri scandal, #secretary expose, and #power abused were trending worldwide. News anchors called it the downfall of the most feared Arab CEO in the Gulf. Meanwhile, feminist influencers hailed Aaliyah as a modern-day whistleblower, while tabloids reduced her to the secretary who slept her way to the top. But while the world was pointing fingers, Aaliyah and Khalid were asking the real question: who leaked the tape? Because it wasn't her, and he swore it wasn't him. "I would never humiliate myself that way," Khalid hissed as he paced the penthouse of his Dubai tower. "You think I want the board to see me beg for you in bed?" Aaliyah stared at him, arms crossed. "You didn't seem so worried about your reputation when you had me on your desk." Silence. Then her phone buzzed. "Blocked number. Now everyone knows what you are. You'll both pay." She showed Khalid the message. His face went pale. "It's my ex-fiancée," he whispered. "She hacked my system once before. I should have seen this coming." "Wait, what?" Turns out, Khalid was engaged to Princess Yasmina, a Gulf royal with a reputation for icy control and violent jealousy. They had broken it off 2 months ago, around the same time Khalid's obsession with Aaliyah began. Aaliyah's heart sank. "So this was all a game? I was just your rebound?" But Khalid stepped closer, dropping the billionaire mask. "I don't know what this is, but it's not a game. I'd give up everything if it meant keeping you." Too late, because just then, security footage showed up in Aaliyah's inbox, grainy black and white clips from her apartment hallway, with Princess Yasmina herself entering the building, dressed in all black. She had installed spyware. She had copied the files. She had leaked everything. And now, she wasn't finished. "If I can't have Khalid," Yasmina had once said, "no one will." The threat was real. The game had changed, and the next move could destroy all of them. The whispers became headlines. Arab princess caught in love triangle exposing billionaire and secretary affair. Royal jealousy or corporate sabotage? Hariri empire under fire. But behind the glamour and gossip, something far more sinister was happening. Aaliyah's apartment was ransacked, not by thieves, by someone who knew exactly what they were looking for. Her laptop, gone. Her passport, missing. And on the mirror, written in red lipstick, "He's mine. Walk away or crawl out." Khalid saw it and lost his mind. He summoned his top security team, shut down the entire Hariri tech headquarters, and swore, no one touches Aaliyah again. Ever. But power, even billions, couldn't protect them from royalty. Princess Yasmina wasn't just a bitter ex, she was a storm dressed in gold. That night, at a high-profile charity gala where Khalid was expected to appear, shots rang out. Panic, screams, glass shattering. Aaliyah wasn't even supposed to be there. But Khalid had insisted she come, to show the world she wasn't hiding. As they exited the venue to head to the limo, a black SUV sped through the barricades. A masked driver, a gun pointed from the window. Bang, everything went black. When Aaliyah opened her eyes, she was in the hospital. Khalid was slumped in the chair beside her bed, blood on his sleeve, his face buried in his hands. "You jumped in front of me," she whispered. He looked up, eyes red, raw, real. "I'd die 1,000 times to protect you, Aaliyah." But the drama wasn't over. Because just then, her doctor walked in, holding a file. He glanced at Khalid, then looked at Aaliyah. "There's something you both need to know." She blinked. "What is it?" The doctor smiled nervously. "You're pregnant." Silence. Khalid stood frozen, but it was Aaliyah's gasp that shattered the silence. Because she knew it wasn't from the last time they were together. It was from weeks before, the night she found comfort in someone else's arms, someone Khalid hated more than anyone. Now, her secret would destroy them both. And Yasmina wasn't done yet. The room went silent. Aaliyah's heart pounded louder than the machines beeping beside her hospital bed. Khalid's lips parted, but no words came out. "P pregnant?" he whispered, his voice cracking like a man watching his entire empire collapse. But it wasn't joy in Aaliyah's eyes. It wasn't even fear. It was shame. She turned away from him. "It's not yours," she said barely above a whisper. Khalid's fists clenched, his breath caught in his throat. The man who crushed billion-dollar deals now looked like a broken boy. "Then whose is it?" he asked. Aaliyah closed her eyes. "Your brother." Boom. Not just any brother, Zion Hariri. The rebel, the outcast, the family disgrace, and the same man Khalid publicly disowned for trying to steal his company. Turns out, after one of Khalid's humiliating tirades at work, Aaliyah found herself in Zion's penthouse suite, drunk on pain and rage. What started as tears turned into touches, then moans, and now, life growing inside her. Khalid staggered back like she'd slapped him. You slept with him? After everything we had? You've humiliated me every day, Khalid, she cried. Zion made me feel seen. Suddenly, the door burst open. Princess Yasmina, with 2 uniformed guards behind her. Perfect, she sneered. The traitor, the whore, and the bastard in her belly, all under one roof. Yasmina, leave now before I ruin your family name, Khalid snapped. But she only smirked. No need, I've already sent everything to the press. Your sex tapes, your mistress, your secret brother's baby. She threw a folder on the bed, filled with surveillance photos, DNA reports, and a court summons. By tomorrow, Hariri Tech will be mine. And you, Khalid, you'll be in prison for embezzlement, fraud, and workplace harassment. I made sure of it. The guards moved in. Khalid didn't resist. He just looked at Aaliyah, one last time, eyes heavy with something between heartbreak and hope. I'll fix this. I don't care whose baby it is. I still love you. Then they dragged him away. 3 months later, Aaliyah sat in a quiet beach house in Morocco, belly round, heart heavy. Zion visited once, but made it clear, he wanted nothing to do with the child. But Khalid? He wrote every week from behind bars. Love letters, plans for revenge, promises of forever, and as she read one under the moonlight, her baby kicked for the first time. She whispered through tears, "You'll know who your father is. Not by blood, but by who fought to stay."